Hey guys, and welcome back to ScarletSprites. Well, today's video has made me do something that I'm both saddened and embarrassed by. I had to turn on my N64. Atrocities like this don't just happen, however. There's generally a series of unfortunate events that lead to such desperation, and lucky for you, I'm here to give you that backstory today. Arcade gaming is pretty awesome. It's a rewarding hobby that allows you to play the original versions of games while also teaching you a thing or two about the hardware and cabinets that they ran on. It's a cool way to peek back at the history of gaming if you're willing to get your hands a little dirty. Sometimes shit gets out of control though, and it happens in this hobby as well as any other. Okay, it happens a lot in this hobby. Also, like other hobbies, there's a tendency to sometimes accumulate stuff. Lots of stuff. Real stuff, often kick-ass stuff, but lots of stuff. Now, oftentimes I'll take said stuff and sell it off via forums or eBay. It's a good way to recover some of the costs of machines, boards, and other hardware that you actually wanted. In a lot of cases, you can substantially cut costs or even break even on games by selling off pieces of lots. I often do this when buying machines at auction. So recently, I've noticed I've acquired quite a few Midway Seattle boards, which are probably best known for running NFL Blitz. But I have Blitz 2K, which already runs on the Midway Sports Station. It's cool to have other versions of Blitz, like Blitz 99, but I doubt I'll be playing them very often, if at all. So at this point, I went out to System16.com. It's a really cool website that breaks down arcade hardware by manufacturer and shows you a list of games that ran on said hardware. So going into the Midway section and clicking on Seattle and, well, yeah, there it is. First, front and center, BioFreaks. BioFreaks is, or was, a 1998 arcade game developed by Midway, the same company that brought you the iconic Mortal Kombat fighting series. Well, they went 3D and made this. It never hit arcades. Well, it never hit arcades en masse. It was, however, made into this very forgettable N64 and PlayStation game. Honestly, it's terrible. Really terrible. I'd long forgotten that this even existed before initiating my search, and after playing a few rounds of this on N64, I wish that I could forget again. The main premise it uses to try and set itself apart from other fighters of the time is its extended use of the Y-plane. So, in other words, your characters have a ridiculous amount of hovering that they can do, and battles take place in the air and on the ground. Unfortunately, it just feels sloppy, gratuitous, and is less fun than running damage control for Intellivision's Amico. I have to be honest here, I really struggled even grabbing footage for this thing. I knew I needed it to make this video, but the entire time I felt like I wished I were doing almost anything else. Anything. Okay, almost anything. It was about this time I realized this was also made for PlayStation, and so, here. Yeah, aside from handling awkwardly, it's also not great to look at. Kind of like a Prius or a poor late night decision you made at a bar. So with all those wonderful things said, why not invest more time into this game and try and get the original arcade prototype up and running on original hardware? This is actually really simple, although it's not something I'd necessarily recommend if you're new to the arcade hobby. Mostly because this is cool in theory, but the game itself is a huge waste of time and money. So there's 3 chips on a Seattle board that need pulled. Your boot, security pick, and sound ROM. Many people use screwdrivers for these and just edge them off. I like to use these extractors so I can grip the chip on both sides and pull evenly and gently. After all, caution is my middle name. Once the chips are off, you just need to burn the boot and sound ROM for BioFreaks. You can do this by erasing the Blitz chips you just removed by exposing them to UV light and then rewriting them. Or you can simply burn a fresh set from chips you already have on hand. So the files that you need to burn your chips are located in the main ROM set. Yeah, did I not mention this? You can just play this in MAME. There's zero need for you to go through any of this nonsense that I am. Just play the game in MAME. But that does take care of the boot and sound ROMs. The security pick is a little different. And I'll shoot you straight here and tell you that the creation of this chip, and really any of the security chips for the Midway games, is beyond my level of expertise. I don't know how they're made. Further, the security pick ROM file for BioFreaks is not in MAME. So even if I was smart enough to create my own security pick, I don't have access to the code anyways. Lucky for me, Neo found a guy on the internet who makes these, so we just bought one from him. And that takes care of the 3 chips. So all that we need now is the hard drive. And this is another thing that we can do ourselves. The CHD file needed for this is once again found in MAME. Rather than using an old hard drive, however, I pulled a compact flash card and wrote the CHD to that. Oh yeah, if you're a real nerd, not only do you waste time getting shit prototype games to run on real hardware, you also print out vinyl labels for everything because life isn't short enough. Alright, with our 3 chips seated, our compact flash card installed, we can finally hook the game up inside my Blitz cabinet. I'm using this machine because it has a medium resolution monitor, and I've heard that this is the only type of display that can be used with BioFreaks. So here we go, let's flip the switch. Well, that's not good. Neo, where the f*** did you get this security chip from? Jesus Christ, you had one job to do. Alright, now we've got a presumably working security pick installed. We can try this again. Ah, yes, there we go. Now, remember the game is a prototype. It's unfinished, but still very playable. You can see that it's on free play, so either player can jump in and go to the character select screen. Oh, I have another issue here too. Because the basement is currently absolute chaos, I have this running on the Blitz 99 machine. The game, as I mentioned, needs a medium resolution monitor. Standard res does not work for this. The problem I have with that is that both of the medium resolution machines that I have are wired to use Midway's 49-way joysticks. Yeah, so the buttons work for this, but I can't actually play the game. Well, I can't play it well. Kind of just throw some attacks here and you can kind of get the idea. Hey, this is a proof of concept idea here, don't judge me. It would be far more trouble than it's worth at this point to switch this and rewire the sticks to standard 8-ways. I just don't have it in me with everything else that's going on, and I would then have to revert this right back to the 49-way sticks for the person who bought this machine off of me, if they ever pick it up. So I hope that this was a fun outing to demonstrate at my expense. For the second time now, as cool as it sounds to get prototype games up and running on their real intended hardware, it's a complete waste of time and money. Don't do it, don't fall for it. But yeah, regardless of this being a really mediocre game, and that might be being a little kind, there is some cool stuff you can do with real arcade boards and chips. Stuff like this does appeal to the inner nerd in me, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it just a tad. Still, I think it's pretty apparent why this never hit arcades and was sent directly to consoles. But definitely give it a go in MAME if you're curious and you want to give it a chance and torture yourself. You can kind of get an idea of where this one was going before Midway hit the brakes, and you don't have to jump through any of the hoops that I did with original hardware. So that's it for today, everyone. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join, and I will catch you all next time. Later, guys.